Okay, Stephen, well, as you say, you know, the squad have had a little bit of a break, given you didn't have the game last week. But, you know, you're preparing for this weekend, and of course your last outing, you know, you're very proud of the players for their performance against Rangers. So this weekend, I assume, you'll be looking for something similar.
Well, I hope so. A different type of game, but against a very informed Kilmarnock side. They've started the season very well. They've adapted well to the new head coach, so it's going to be another real challenge for ourselves. But we trained really well last week. We loaded the players up. We then had a couple of days where they could recover, and we've had I think quite a good training week leading into that. So I would hope that as a group they've taken a lot from the Rangers game, but at the same time, as I stressed after that game, we've got so much more to give and so much more to improve in. So we've worked hard on that in the last 2 weeks. But again, I'll stress this, you know, the journey that we're on isn't going to be a straightforward journey, but we have to keep striving to be better every single day.
And it's not going to be straightforward, and you did have a tough start to the season, but how much do you feel that, you know, the last game against Rangers could potentially be a turning point for you this season?
Well, I hope so. I think that the Rangers game, you know, was a game where I think it gave the players a lot of belief. They showed a lot of courage that day, and one of the things I've spoken about, I still think there's more courage to be shown and more bravery to be shown, especially in possession. Out of possession, we showed incredible mentality, incredible courage, but there are still improvements. But I think they'll have taken a lot from that. You know, that's a really good Rangers team. That was our strongest team on the day, and we stood up to the game well, and, you know, arguably should have won the game. But so that was good signs. But good teams, great players do it on a regular basis, and we have to prove that. We have to prove that it isn't just that one game. We have to do it on a consistent basis if we're going to become a good team.
How much belief do you have, from what you've seen so far from the players, that you do have that in the squad, that they can do this on, you know, a pretty consistent basis?
Well, we're still unproven in that respect. You know, I work with them every day, and the one thing I'll say about this group of players, I enjoy getting out of my bed to work with them every day, because they're a really good group. They want to improve, they want to train properly. All of those aspects I enjoy. I've also said that we need more support and help, because we need some additional quality within the group. But you know, a lot of these players are players that I think, you know, can develop given time and given games. But the consistency is an element that we still have to prove.
And, you know, you mentioned about potentially, you know, the more new players coming in. How is that going in that regard? And, you know, are you close to bringing anyone else in?
Well, I would say to you, yes. It will not happen, I don't think, before the weekend, or it's highly unlikely to happen. We have a couple of targets that we're very close on, that we believe will happen. One of them being a midfield player that we think will come in early next week. Both ourselves and the club want it to happen. The player wants it to happen. It's just a matter of timing. So we believe that could happen early next week. And we've also not got an agreement in place with a club, but we believe that we're getting close to that for a player in our position. So we hope come next week that we have several new additions to the group. And
just how much of a difference do you feel that's going to make?
Well, I think a big difference. You know, I think that when I talk about consistency of performance, competition for places, I think, creates consistency of performance. You know, the one thing that I do want is players to be under pressure to keep their positions, and that type of environment, I think, breeds success and breeds consistency. So I think it's really important that we get a squad of players. I don't want too big a squad. I want a squad of players that are very much manageable and very much feel part of it. But I want a squad of players where they're breathing down each other's throats to be playing.
And we were just speaking to John McCracken there, and you said at the start of the season, you know, you hadn't decided who was going to be your number one, but He's been in the first 2 league games. You know, how pleased have you been with him so far this season?
I have been pleased. You know, I gave him the opportunity, but of course it's up to John to take that, and I think his performances in the opening 2 games have been very good. Again, John, like all the other group, need to prove that he can do that on a consistent basis. Now, goalkeepers are going to make mistakes. That's comes with the territory. But it's just shown consistency over a longer period of time, and that's something that John needs to do.
And how's your team news going into the game in terms of injuries?
So we have a couple of issues. We have Paul Digby, who played exceptionally well against Rangers and has been a pivotal player for ourselves. He looks like he's going to miss out this weekend. He's got a calf injury and he could be anything up to 5-6 weeks before we see him return. So that's a real blow to the group. But we have Simon coming back into the fold. He's trained last week, played in one of our bounce games, and also has trained all this week. So that's really exciting to have our captain back and involved. Cesar comes back into the mix after missing out with concussion, so that's good. We have Charlie Riley back involved, not in contact yet, but he's back on the grass. So there's some good signs as well. So the other one is Galabov. Galabov's been ill this week, but we hope he'll return to training Friday.
Thank you.
You've brought in Jan Dander from Hearts. What does he bring to the squad that excites you?
Quality, real quality. You know, he's a really exciting player. He's got an amazing set play delivery. He's got moments in games that can change games, and I think that's pivotal to have in a team. That creativity and that type of player that can bring their personality and change a game at any given time, and that's what I think he can bring to the team. But he's also, there's a perception on Jan that he is just that. He's not just that. He's a player that works really hard against the ball as well, and I think that can be overlooked with Jan Dander. He's not a luxury player. He's a player that will very much buy into the team culture, but within that he's got that real quality.
You've performed, as I say, fantastically at Ibrox the other week, but you've got Jan now coming into place, Simon Murray coming back into play. All these things must be positive to look at this game at Kilmarnock at the weekend.
Yeah, and again, it's what I want. It's what every manager wants: competition for places and having to make some big decisions about who plays and who doesn't play. That's the job, and if you want a successful environment, that's what you want as a manager. You want to have to make difficult decisions around who plays, who doesn't play, but that only happen if you've got real competition.
Do you feel that the role that you had previously down south with player liaison is helping you in this role that you now have here at Dundee Football Club?
Well, the role working with the individuals gave me a great insight into, you know, I was a player myself, so I know the challenges, the difficulties of it, but working with players on a daily basis, you find out just it's such a challenging occupation being a football player. There's so many ups and downs, and I think that part of my job is to be very honest and transparent with the players, but equally my job's to support them and try and make them better. And that's a crucial aspect of it. You know, I understand I need to make big decisions, but I also understand that I need to help these players and support them.
Well, first of all, back in action this weekend after a bit of a break, and of course the previous game before that was a great result against Rangers, and you yourself, find yourself between the sticks in the first 2 league games of the season. Just how much have you enjoyed the season so far?
No, I've really enjoyed it. I think it was a clean slate for everyone coming back into the season, the boys that were here from last year. So no, it's been good. Like I say, it was a clean start for us all. So just coming into the season confident again, and obviously grateful the managers gave me the gloves so far. So no, just looking to carry on the sort of momentum that we've got just now. Like you says, it was a good result against Rangers. To be fair, obviously the first 45 v Hibs probably wasn't the best, but I think the second half we were a bit more solid, and then obviously taking that Rangers performance. So I think that we're quietly confident in here. So no, it's been good.
And the manager said when he came in on the goalkeepers, you know, he hadn't made his decision on who would be his number one. You know, he's gone with you so far. How much are you determined to make sure that you are the number one this season?
No, definitely. I think it's what we all want to be. We'll be playing games every weekend, so I think for me it's just sort of taking it week by week, game by game. I know it's an easy one to say, but it genuinely just is that. So I'm not getting too far ahead of myself and just sort of keep doing what I'm doing and just striving to get better. I think it's also a good confidence boost that the managers came in and gave us the gloves, and he's been really positive with us. I think even the new goal coach that's came in, he's been good with us as well. So it's been a nice confidence boost.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, how confident are you feeling now? Because it's tough, you know, like last season when you find yourself in and then out again. And you know, how confident are you feeling this season with, you know, everything's kind of, as you say, a bit of a fresh start?
No, it's obviously last year was tough, I think, in and out, and obviously the cup goalkeeper, the league goalkeeper situation, it was first time I've ever been in that situation, so I think I've learned a lot from that and how to deal with that. But like I say, this season, try not to dwell too much on last season and sort of thinking that it's got to be this similar, because it's sort of not going to be. So no, it's like you say, it's confidence, but it's also just a bit of relief as well, because you're coming into the season not knowing too much about the manager and what he's thinking towards you, because you're not the manager's signing. None of us were in the goalkeeping department, so it was it was just a bit more relief, and then once that's off your shoulders, you can just let your football do the talking, and when you're playing with freedom, it's a lot easier.
And of course you face Kilmarnock this weekend. What's your thoughts heading into that game, and how important is it that you take that great result against Rangers into that game, and but also not get too complacent either?
I know it's like I said, it's not sort of listening to too much noise outside. You know what I mean? It's the third league game of the season. Do you know what I mean? Obviously the group stage in the cup never went to plan as such, but we're 3 games into the season so far, coming up this weekend. So it's like I say, it's a difficult venue. Every away game in this league's difficult. So it's another one. Obviously the surface is different to what we're used to. So that's something that boys need to adapt to as well. So it'll be a good game. It always is a good game down at Kilmarnock. I think recently they've been probably a bit too good from a Dundee point of view in terms of too many goals, but it's like I say, it's a tough venue like everyone in this league, so it'll be an interesting game.
And you know, it has been a tough start to the season, but you know, you had that great result in the last game. I mean, do the players feel sort of confident and positive about what lies ahead this season? I
think so, definitely. I mean, obviously you don't listen to too much noise outside this building, but I mean, you can't help yourself. You're watching games. It's the same pundits, same people, and obviously people have made a lot of noise about the start to the campaign. But I mean, when you reflect on it, I don't know. I can't compare it to the first year I was up here and we got knocked out the league group campaign, and we had Motherwell at home, St Mirren away the first 2 games. We got a point out of those 2 games. Same situation we're in this year, and we still finished top 6 that year. So I think it's important not to overreact. Obviously the league group stage never went to plan. Obviously we should be beating Albion, beating Airdrie, but it sort of came a bit quick for us in the sort of redeveloping in the team, if you like. So it's important just to not listen to too much noise that happens outside, and we're quietly confident in here in our group, and we like what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like I say, it's been a fresh start, but you can start to see us every day. We're sort of developing more and more bodies are coming in now. A few good signings now as well. So the group's always adding, always developing, and I think we're in a real good place. How
much did you personally feel, you know, you needed that kind of fresh start after last season and being in and out the squad?
It's never easy being in and out the squad, but obviously part of that was down to performances as well for myself. So it's like I say, we never kept too many clean sheets last year, so you didn't really have a case to argue that you're coming out of the team as much. But it's one of those things. It's like I say, I don't want to dwell too much on last year. I'm kind of just looking forward to now relishing the fresh start we've got, and I'm quite happy with the way it's going.
Thank you very much.
Do you feel that because Trevor's there waiting for his opportunity, it helps you in your performances and to perform better? I
think the goalie department's really good. I think obviously Harry's came on leaps and bounds as well under the new goalie coach, and like you say, Trevor's there as well. So it's a good group, a good group of goalies that the managers obviously happy with, that he can choose any one of us to play. So, like I said, just grateful I've been given that opportunity to start with, and hopefully you can repay him with the performances.
You go to Kilmarnock on Saturday, and lots of times the surface is brought to sort of talked about, and how difficult it sometimes is to play upon that surface. Is it more difficult for you as a goalkeeper because it comes off the surface completely differently from when it does the grass?
I think it's probably a wee bit more unpredictable than your standard grass surface, but like I say, everyone needs to go there at some point in the season, so obviously they're probably more accustomed to it because they're on it every single day. But like I say, we'll do our prep work on it this week as well, so it's not going to be too different to another AstroTurf you can get. Like I say, it's part and parcel of it, really, playing in the league.
And Kilmarnock this season with another new manager in place for them, does that make it a little bit unpredictable about what's going to happen when you go to Rugby Park on Saturday?
No, definitely. I think he's got a good track record in the league, Stuart Kettlewell, so you kind of know what his teams are going to be like. But I've been quite impressed with them so far. Kilmarnock, I think they're a well organised team, good team, and you're always in for a tough game going to Kilmarnock. So it's no different to any other trip there.
And how much difference has there been for the start of this season to where you finished last season? Is it a lot different for yourself and how things are happening for the players and the club itself?
Definitely. I think the managers came in with a whole new background staff as well, so it's been good. Like I say, there's loads of different voices in. It's fresh. He's working in ways that I've been really impressed by. So it's good in terms of no week's the same. Every week's different in terms of who we're playing, and the training's different. So it's been really refreshing so far.